Pioneers wrapped up the regular season away from Pioneer Arenas, going on the road to Harrogate, ranked second in the country, and the Wingate Bulldogs, a dangerous team, playing for their seniors. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brian Staten, joined by Pioneer coach J.T. Burton, back from the illness that put everybody under, including myself, and still trying to recover from some of that. A Pioneer basketball team last week that we know going on the road was going to be a tough task. And we go against a team that has won 27 consecutive when we walk into the Tex Turner Arena on a Wednesday night. I felt like we had a really decent game plan in the contest. However, they used just again, you can't have the valleys offensively when you play LMU, and we had one of those right at the end of the first half.
Yep, they finished the first half, I think it was a 19-4 run, and then it's hard to recover because those guys don't miss shots. I mean, they're the most, I think, efficient team in the top 5, or maybe the best one in the country in Division II. So, you know, we had like you said, the lows where we go 3 to 5 minutes without scoring. Well, they're not going to go that long without scoring, and they showed it. That's why it was finished the half of the 19-4 run.
You know, but in the game, several possessions. I mean, you had more possessions. You just didn't get the shooting percentage that I think you needed, and I think that was a little bit more surprising to me. But then again, I think that's what is so underrated about LMU. Yeah, everybody talks about their offense, but it's their field goal percentage defense and their scoring defense that is so impressive as well.
Yes, they do a really good job. I mean, you know, we got a little size on them, but they can play 1 through 5, or they switch 1 through 5, and they do a really good job of it. I mean, that team defensively doesn't get enough recognition.
They ice screens very well also, and I think what they did in the game with Whitfield, Dahlman, those two hit really deep shots, and that's just all it takes sometimes to get them going.
Yes, I mean, I think it was Whitfield hit one in the first half towards the end, and it was beyond NBA three-point line. But I mean, we try to tell the guys, but until you see it, until you go up against it, you know, you kind of have, you know, that I don't think so feeling until you get to become live, and that's what they done. They shot the ball really well.
They shot it well in the first half, and that continued through the second half. The Pioneers again got back into it. Again, you started chipping away at a big lead in that second half and played with that sense of urgency. I know you probably like to see that all the time, although I did think we started off pretty well, but boy, in the second half, felt like there was that sense of urgency, started to make a little comeback. Daquavis Wilkins with a highlight putback dunk. A lot of good things to take away from the game, unfortunately, in a loss.
Yes, I mean, with those guys, again, I mean, when we did make a run, we still went on a little, like I think a 3 or 4 minute span where we didn't score. And those guys, you know, we held them on about a 2 or 3, maybe turned them over, did some good things. Like you said, Daquavis Wilkins done some good things, but 3's more than 2, and you've got to guard the three-point line against them.
Cameron Henry goes 6 of 8 in the contest. They had some guys that Whitfield goes again for 20. I believe that was his 5th consecutive game for 20. Pioneers get 16 out of Trenton Gibson, Dylan Smith with 13, Daquavis Wilkins with a season best 12 points in that contest. But the Pioneers shoot just 28.8%, but 73 shots to LMU's 55 shots. So again, you're getting the possessions that you needed. The shots just weren't going in. A lot of that was what they were doing defensively. I also feel as if we rushed a lot of shots. It's almost as if we were nervous once we did get in the paint.
We missed a lot of layups. I mean, and we can't do that. You can't afford to do that against a team. I mean, we got the shots that we wanted for the most part. It's just missing wide open layups, and then we get the offensive rebound, try to put back, which is a layup, and we missed it. So going against LMU, number 2 team in the country at their place, you can't miss those type shots and expect to win.
Winning streak extended. The winning streak snapped for the Pioneers and won 4 straight going into that contest. LMU gets the win 83-65. They take the season series, as they have done with everybody this year, as they also wrapped up the regular season unbeaten, did something that no one else has done except LMU on this past Saturday. The Pioneers fall 83-65 Wednesday. They go to Wingate on Saturday to take on a Bulldog team that is out of the tournament. They knew going in that they didn't really have a chance to get in no matter what the scenario was going to play out. You had a chance to be number 3 with the victory, a loss, and then some other things that could happen could drop you all the way to number 5. The way it worked out, the Pioneers will be the number 4 seed in the South Atlantic Conference tournament, but against a Wingate team that still had a lot to play for. 2 seniors that have been there and had done some of that with their winning ways, and Jacob Dawkins started the game, he probably could have thrown it behind his back and it would have gone in from 3 the way the game started for them.
After watching the film, I mean, during the game, I didn't think we contested shots. I thought we did a bad job. But after watching the film with the guys yesterday, we did an unbelievable job of contesting shots. They just made it. And that goes a testament to those guys, man, because they haven't been as strong as they were 3 years ago before we got in this league, before I came the head coach here. But those guys showed a lot of fight in them because they've been on some winning teams. They got the winning pedigree. So going into the senior night, I knew they was going to be ready, and boy, they took it to us. They didn't miss many shots.
And it really wasn't a bad start for us either. I think that was the thing that surprised me even more. We got off to the good start. We're shooting somewhere in the neighborhood of 56%. They were too, but it was toe-to-toe. It was even for the most part throughout the entire first half. But then the lights went out on us for a little bit there at the end of the first half.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think they cut it to they put the lead up to 10, and then again it was one of those situations where we missed wide open shots or we missed layups, and you can't do it against a team that has playing for pride, especially with those seniors.
The Pioneers trailed by 11. I think it was early in the second half. Go on the 11-0 run. You tie the game, and I'm thinking, all right, here they go. And they get the ball to Dawkins and Frankie Johnson, a couple of seniors, and they hit from 3. They hit a couple of deep threes. They go on a 14-0 run. It's not like they put the game away right there, but man, they took a lot out of us.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think late in the second half, I remember watching the film, and we had cut it to I think it was 8 maybe in single digits, but then they just started, driving the ball to the basket. But the biggest thing is we missed a lot of layups, a lot of 2-foot shots, and you can't afford to do that in any basketball game.
We got a lot of guys established early. We always talk about getting Brandon Mitchell going. Well, 2 dunks and a 3-pointer, I think it got him going, got his game going, but they were able to kind of weather that storm as well, and they really did a good job negating anything we tried to do in the paint as well.
Yes, they did. They did a really good job of taking him, especially late in the game, and I think we started pressing a little bit as well, shooting a lot of threes, and as I said before, I think we did a stat, when we shoot 20 threes or less, we're either 5-2 or 8-2. We shoot more than that, our winning percentage goes way down, and in this game you get to forcing shots. We ain't a very good 3-point shooting team. That's why we have to go inside. I
think it was 26 attempts in the day for the Pioneers from 3-point territory. And again, that was one of those things that wasn't going in. But for Dawkins, it was. It's 27 points for him, 1 point shy of his career best that he established last year of 28. I believe it was against Anderson as well. He was great from 3-point territory. Frankie Johnson was good running things. They even lost Jaron Cottingham in the first half to a back injury. Quantre Taylor stepped up, might have had one of the best posterization dunks that I've seen in some time. It was an offensive rebound putback. I mean, the guy just took off from about 7 or 8 feet outside of the lane and went up and put it in. That's the type of moxie they were playing with. They were determined, I think, to win the basketball game.
They hit 14 threes.
Yeah.
And you let a team hit 14 threes against you and shoot the ball as well as they did, you're not going to win too many games. And then the momentum, with the home crowd being senior night, and like you said, he caught the ball off the rim. And when you don't box out, you don't do what you're supposed to do, that's what happens.
15 was the season high. UNC Pembroke, ranked second in our region, was able to hit 15 3-pointers all the way back during the Thanksgiving time back in Charlotte. And then the Wingate Bulldogs put up 14 3-point makes in the contest. And again, Coach was a little disappointed with, I guess, our 3-point defense just because we didn't necessarily contest as many. Got a lot of contested shots in there, but again, they were also able to make some of those. You get 22 out of Dylan Smith. This guy's been playing lights out, 17 points over his last 6 games. I mean, here's a guy that's a senior that's trying to accomplish some things. Yes, we did miss some layups. Yes, and he was one of them as well. But he's been playing well. Trenton Gibson has been playing well. I know you want to see his shooting percentage a little bit better, and I think for Trenton, he'd like to see that just a little bit better too.
Yeah, Dylan Smith. I mean, he's done it. He's done the same thing last year. He had horrendous numbers the first beginning of the season. Then after Christmas, he turns it on. I mean, he's done that this year. I think he was shooting at one time in the 20s in the 3-pointers.
Yeah.
3-point percentage now, I think it's up to 33% or something like that. So, which is really, really good to considering the amount of games and all that good stuff. But when it comes to Trent Gibson as well, Trent's numbers doesn't per se, his percentages doesn't say how well he's how important he is for this team. But you go look at his assist to turnover ratio. He does a very good job of getting guys wide open shots.
And that's what the Pioneers were able to do in the game against Wingate. Those shots, however, just didn't go down. So the Bulldogs avenge an earlier season loss to the Pioneers at Pioneer Arena. They put up 90 points, 92-77. The Bulldogs shooting lights out. They close out their season. Their season is over with. The season is not done for the Pioneers. And just another side note, Brandon Mitchell does establish a new single season best. Didn't see it during the game, but he was credited with the block, which was his 58th of the season, which is one better than that of Chase Mounts, who established the single season record a couple of years ago. Congratulations to Brandon Mitchell for that accolade. The Pioneers will go into the conference tournament as the number 4 seed. Anderson falls on Saturday to the LMU Rail Splitters, and the Pioneers will get Anderson this coming Wednesday. We'll talk about that when we continue with more basketball after this. This is Pioneer Basketball with Coach J.T. Burton.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Pioneers return home this Wednesday as we open up the Pilot Flying J South Atlantic Conference Tournament. It's the quarterfinals, and for a second consecutive year, the Tusculum Pioneers will be at home, and they'll get the Anderson Trojans, the 5 seed. This is the third time these teams have met this year. The Pioneers actually sweep the season series. That was a rarity for Tusculum. Anderson looking for their first conference tournament crown as the Trojans advance here to the finals in the quarterfinals, taking on the Pioneers. The Pioneers still have not won a conference tournament game since 2011. Look to change that this week on Wednesday night from Pioneer Arena. So you get the Trojans, and you've got Sean Bernard coming in, Quinn Nottingham. These guys are scoring the ball in excessive high amount. They've got some other scorers, and Crosby, who's figuring things out as well as a youngster. It's a very dangerous team that comes in here, and I felt like we were fortunate to win when we went on the road just a couple of weeks ago there. But again, I think our defense causes them some real serious issues. I think it's a good matchup for our program.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when we went down there a couple of weeks ago, we did a really good job on the defensive end. And as I said to my staff yesterday, we got to worry about us at this point because the last couple of games we've given up 24 3-point makes between LMU and Wingate. So with this team right here, they're going to shoot the ball as well. So we got to do a better job of defensively, and we have in the past, but playing a team for the third time, everybody knows what you're going to do. So we just got to continue to do the little things and not overthink anything.
And I think that's the point of emphasis. You're not hiding anything anymore from them. They're not hiding anything from you, but you do need to focus on yourself because I think defensively it's what you hang your hat on. And I think you've been disappointed with what we've done defensively, especially over the last week.
Oh, Wingate, we gave up 90 points. I mean, I don't think I've ever given up 90 points like 5 or 6 times in my career as a head coach. So we have to go back to the drawing board. And yesterday we had a really good practice, to be honest. Guys got up and down, they got after it a little bit. And that's what we have to see. We got to, defensively is what we has been our Achilles heel, and we got to be really good at it coming down the stretch.
All right, an Anderson team that, they may have lost to LMU, but again, they were in the fight as well. So I think this is a team that has belief, and I think this is a team that really rebounded. We played them back in January here at home, and they were going through a little bit of a tough time, but they figured something out, whatever it is, and they might be, outside of LMU, one of the hottest teams in our league.
Yeah, I mean, we called them, they was the hottest team when we went down there and played. We was fortunate enough to come away to win. We just got to shoot the ball well. We got to defend. And, they got really good guards. They got a really good post. They got a good team.
Yeah.
But, playing at home has got to be, it's good for us. And we got to make some shots and defensively and rebound the ball. We got to get back to offense and rebound the ball as well.
All right, so the rest of the field, the LMU Rail Splitters are at home. They're the top seed this year. They're ranked second nationally, riding a 29-game winning streak. They get Mars Hill. Again, Mars Hill getting in. That would be the next matchup for the Pioneers should they win. That next matchup, semifinal, will be at Timmons Arena on the campus of Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina, also the host of the SEC Women's Championship. So if you want to maybe go ahead and get that room, just maybe thinking things may happen, They want to go ahead and at least look into that because Greenville, South Carolina is going to be hopping this weekend with a lot of basketball everywhere in the area. So Tusculum advances. They would get either the 1 or the 8, the next round winner, and the LMU Rail Splitters hosting that Mars Hill team. So congratulations also to Vic Fenora and Mars Hill on a fabulous season for the job that they have been able to do here this season. All right, a Pioneer team. The other part of that bracket is the 2-seed Queens University. They'll take on Lenore-Ryan. 3-seed Catawba will take on Newberry in the South Atlantic Conference quarterfinals on Wednesday. From Pioneer Arena, we'll have the coverage for you on the Pioneer Sports Network. You can also come. There will be a doubleheader. Pioneers are the only team that will be hosting 2 games. So 5:30 and 7:30 are start times. The women will play Wingate first. The men to follow with Anderson. $8 to get in for both of the games. And for all the Tusculum students, show your ID, and the athletic department will be allowing you guys to come in for free. Need a big crowd. Like to have some great atmosphere on a midweek Wednesday as the Pioneers take on the Anderson Trojans in the second of our doubleheader in the Pilot Flying J South Atlantic Conference Tournament. Coach, best of luck. Thanks for the time. Good to see you. Glad you're healthy. Yeah, looking good too, right?
I feel good.
He's JT Burton. Mama was taking care of him, like the wife was taking care of him,
Yes,
and brought him back
Carla.
from the grave.
Yes.
You were done.
I was done, Coach, and thank you for bringing that up. Thank you, Carla. You saved my life.
Absolutely.
Love you.
Pioneers take on Anderson. Join us on the Pioneer Sports Network. We'll have some great video, also have some great commentary because I haven't spoken greatly here in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to use a lot of words, and I'm going to use them well. He's Pioneer Coach JT Burton. I'm Brian Staten for everyone here on the Pioneer Sports Network. Until next time, go Pioneers.